Hey everyone, welcome back to Rhythm Railroad. This is not an update video, this is just simply a video asking for some advice, suggestions, etc. So far, a lot of people have been reaching out and helping out, and I really do appreciate that. So I figured with this new thing that I'm running into now, I could ask for some advice. So what I'm looking at is the reverser or the reversing unit, and I have made videos about this before, but I think I came up with something that might solve things. Not necessarily solve things, but make things a little simpler than what I was looking to do. So originally, the reversing section was going to be within the reversing loop, meaning this is where the reverse loop starts. It's like a balloon. It goes in that way and comes back out this way. So the polarity is like this over there, and it's like this over here on that track. It obviously goes all the way around the bottoms of staging, around the wall, through the bubble or the peninsula, and then back around. And where I just pointed out is where it comes back into the single main. Now, suggestions have been make the entire staging yard your reversing section, meaning put the gaps around here somewhere on this track, so that when the train enters, it's like this, and then when it exits, it'll be flipped around. But when it hits the reversing module here, it'll flip the entire yard, including all the spurs and anything that would be inside the yard. So they would flip it over like a switch. Some people have said that that might not work because it's too much for the locomotives to handle, or it's not going to work, period, because you would need to have reversers on every single spur for every single track inside the staging. And then others have said it'll flip it so fast that with DCC, the locomotives won't even see it. In my experience, I haven't dealt with that many tracks within a reversing loop. Most of my reversing loops in the past have been just one track or maybe two, and they have worked, with that concept. But here's what I'm thinking now, and this might be the solution to everything. Instead of making it here, why not make it on the lead? Here's why I'm saying that. The lead is extremely long. It's longer than any train I'm going to run or that can fit into the staging yard. It's all of this. This is all the lead into the staging. And it's going to stop around here somewhere. So let's say this holds, I don't know, 50 cars. I mean, take a look at the distance of what 30 cars look like. This is 30 cars right here, up to there. So if you parallel that to where the switch is, which is pretty much in the same spot, it's like half, or maybe a little more than half. But then I still have all of this before I hit that point. Now, I don't think I'm going to be running anything much longer than 30 cars anyway. So what I'm thinking now is, why not make this the reversing track? Meaning, put my gaps here where it connects to the main, which, by the way, this is going to continue on. So you're not going to see a switch until probably here, because I do want the other track to have a connection in case it needs it. I'll explain that later on when I have more track here. But anyways, so I even have a little bit more of a chunk there. So let's say I put my gaps here. When the locomotives enter, and rolling stock, let's say it's in this polarity, it's going to take all of that time before it flips its polarity here. So even if I have resistors or whatever on my rolling stock, which, by the way, it's my first time doing that, I don't know if that's enough to create a short circuit, but I do want it to detect my entire train. I don't want it to be where it just detects the locomotives, because then I'm kind of running blind. So I want all of this to be a reversing section and have detection, which I have, I have the unit to do that from Digitrax. They make something called a BAPX1 or something like that. And that's both a reverser and the detector. So if I do that, you know, I think my entire train will be in, you know, including the caboose before it flips it. Therefore, it won't create a short over here. That's where I'm thinking, just to make things simpler, because now I'm only dealing with one track. I don't have to deal with, you know, spurs or sidings or, you know, a yard, an entire yard. So I might just go with that. Plus, the other thing I wanted to do here that I found myself running into a problem is that if I put the reverser here, then I can only detect one thing, which is the entire yard. So I want to be able to have a separate panel with detection for the yard, for the staging, where I can see trains coming in to every single track as it opens up, you know, over here when it starts to split into the 4 tracks. So I want to be able to detect 4 tracks, and also I want to be able to detect sections of tracks within the 4 tracks. So, you know, I'm going to basically putting one train behind the other because I can. It's just, there's no way I'm going to run a train that's going to be all of that. So there's probably going to be a train up to the halfway point and then another train, which means that I would cut double gaps somewhere in the middle and then have a separate detection unit for that. So this way I can see exactly what train is where and how long it is, or at least that it's in the right section of the staging yard. You know, so that if I need to pull a train out blindly, I can do it without, you know, without having to go peeking in here, or having, like, you know, 4 cameras down there to get every single corner. So yeah, what I'm picturing is that once I set up my TV here, which is connected to Ethernet, it goes over the ceiling and back to where my computer is going to be behind me, I can have a sub panel. You know, I might even run a separate computer. I don't know. I got to figure it out. But I can have some kind of panel that only shows. I guess I could do it on JMRI. I could do as many panels as I want. So one would be just a staging yard, and it'd only be talking to the, you know, to what's going on down there. And then obviously the one, you know, I could put this detection point on 2 different panels. You know, meaning I can make it so that it talks to the panel that's controlling the rest of these, you know, the main line or whatever, or I can make it talk to just the staging yard panel, or both, so that I can see it coming out and I can also see it coming in, or vice versa. And it'll show it nice and big here. It's going to be a 55-inch television. You know, I think I have this plenty of room to see the whole layout. So, you know, I want to have it here so that I can do my own dispatching if I need to. But then also, I have a dispatch room upstairs, which is also connected through Ethernet. In fact, my panel is open right now, so let me just show you real quick. We got Fios from Verizon, so we're just kind of switching some things here. But anyways, I have this splitter that, you know, basically goes through my entire house. And I have plenty of room to add more stuff, but I can, you know, I can run it to any room in the house and have it talk to that other computer via hardwire. So if I have my dispatcher sitting in the office upstairs, I can wire it to talk to the TV here if I wanted to. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, I guess my question is, what do you think about having my reverse section in the lead to the staging yard rather than getting complicated and putting it in there? You know, I could do it either way, but I think this might be the easiest bet. Let me know. As far as progress, I did finish almost finish the basic sub-road bed here. I just got to put in a few more screws up to here, but I'm on the last 2 layers of Homasote. Everything else is in already. So I just got to tie that in, and then I'm kind of working against it with the cork and with the track. So as far as cork, I just did this right now before I made this video. So I'm kind of working my way out. I just don't want to get too far because you know, I want to make sure that's done. And then as far as track, I got up to here. That's my furthest point. And then the siding here. And I'm waiting on the siding right now because I don't know where my spurs are going to be for the industry. So I'm just going to finish the back, where the main, with the one turnout that's going to go around here somewhere. And it's going to feed, you know, this industry back here. It's going to be a huge industry with nice long switching tracks. And then, you know, once I get here, I'll put my turnout somewhere, probably around here, so that I can have a nice long siding, you know, all of that distance. And then it'll close to one track to get across. And then, you know, I've shown you that part already. So that's that. And then I did work a little bit more on the track on this siding. You saw this, but I got a little further. I got all the way. This is drying. Oops, this is drying right now. I got all the way up to here. So all I have left is this little chunk here before I hit the turnout for the industry, and then just a little piece there. And I'll be done with this section. So I'm pretty psyched about that. And that's it. All right, guys, let me know. Thank you.